What's up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be looking at the All-22 and break down the film from the Cowboys' loss to the New Orleans Saints, losing 44-19 in Week 2. And, of course, just a little disclaimer, I'm not a professional. I'm not an analyst. I'm just a fan of the game that saw a few things in this first drive that showed that it was going to be a long day. So be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Let's jump in. So first thing right off the bat, this is easy to point out, and this is something that I talked about in my post-game reaction video. You look at what you see here on the defense. Does anyone want to point out someone that is missing? You would be in this middle area, and if you guessed DeMarvion Overshown, well, ding, 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 you won, and you get a gold star. It is almost criminal, and it is coaching malpractice that Marvion Overshown did not play until Series 3 or Series 4 from what I saw in this game. DeMarvion Overshown played only 17 snaps, and Zimmer said there was a lot of base package, but that's just no excuse. Overshown was your number one graded player in Week 1's game against the Browns, and he didn't show up till the third or the fourth possession. So let's go ahead and look at the very first play of the game. The Saints run a motion. This is going to be a toss to the right side to Kamara. And the Cowboys actually do a really good job of stopping this play. And it's because number 11, Micah Parsons, is on the edge. Now, that's not as easy as it is said, because the Saints did something that a lot of teams do when they completely beat the Cowboys. It's isolating Micah Parsons and getting him away from the game plan. So like I said, really well played, but the Saints were smart enough to adjust and not run towards Micah Parsons. So there's number one thing that I saw in this first drive is they saw that, Micah Parsons can set that edge. They try to double team him, but he completely disrupts this play. Second play, another motion. Wouldn't you have guessed it? It's another run to the left. And I just got to say, I got to tip my hat to the Saints for their play design. This one's a wild one, but you can see the double block on the edge. You could see the movement. This is just confusing to stop at this particular frame. Imagine how difficult it was for the Cowboys to even stop this. I'll let it play out so we could see it. But a run to the left, a reverse, just absolutely confusing. So if we rewind it, you'll see what I mean. You'll see the double block, and the Saints did this a lot on the edges. And doing that takes away the defensive end that obviously establishes the edge. It then challenges the second tier, which is the linebackers, to make a play. And if the linebackers are a little bit slow to that ball, which they were in Week 3, then now it's on the secondary, it's on the cornerbacks, it's on the safety. So as the play plays out, you could see now there's no edge established. The blocking was perfected by the Saints, got rid of the line there, and now it's on the cornerbacks. Now it's on the secondary. Micah does a great job of chasing this play down. But I'll say this, the secondary just needs to be better. And I'm not talking about coverage, because coverage is a totally different thing. This is one of the biggest things that I saw in this first drive. I saw a lack of physicality from every person on that defense. A defense should not just have to rely on its defensive linemen, its linebackers to be physical for the defense. Everyone needs to be able to tackle. Everyone needs to be physical, including the cornerbacks. The Cowboys got out-physicaled. Great play design that completely disrupted the Cowboys' strengths. Next play is just really great play design. Again, got to tip your hat to the New Orleans Saints. This is a max protection package. You'll see the motion. Again, the New Orleans Saints bring it. Murrow's going to come in here. I'll pause it right here. And you got Taysom Hill, and you have Murrow on the side here. You have Kamara, who's going to lay down a great block against Micah Parsons. But look at this package. Everyone's blocking, and the Cowboys are completely outnumbered. When I say that the Saints took away the Cowboys' biggest strength, this is what they did. By max protecting the line, Carr runs a play action. Now it's all on the secondary. And as you know, a complete pass, when you give a quarterback that much time in the pocket, they're going to complete a throw. And it's great as a Week 1 that Kalen Carson had. That's just hard. That's difficult. A man-on-man coverage right there. Again, the package. He's just going to be wide open, and that was an easy throw when we saw too much of that from Carr and the Saints in Week 2. Now, this is the next play of the drive. We have another motion right here. It's going to be a run to the right. This is what the Cowboys needed to do more. And I'm showing this play because it's really going to paint a picture and a contrast of what you see on the touchdown play later this game. Look at the defensive line. As a defensive, the game of football starts at the line, offensive and defensive. If the defense can control the line and penetrate and make it a bad day for their offensive line, we've won and we've done our assignment. That's not the best job, but it's better than what you'll see later. If the defensive line can do that consistently, it allows the linebackers to make decisions, to pursue, to accelerate, and get the ball carrier. And that's what we see on this play. The holes are clogged up and the linebackers make a play. It's actually a good play from the defense. Unfortunately, we didn't see it much enough, and you'll see why on the touchdown play later on this drive. Moving on to the next play, this is unfortunately something that we saw in last year's playoff game against the Green Bay Packers. But the Cowboys defense, they are not a zone defense. They thrive in man coverage. In fact, it's kind of one of the only things that they can do is man coverage. This is just full-on zone. Zimmer and his scheme choose to play a zone coverage in this, and the Saints take advantage. Motion before the snap, looking, and he sits right into that little soft area that the zone provided. Next play here is a big play. Another motion, another play action. The Saints did it a lot because they knew it would throw the Cowboys defense off guard. Olave gets the easy completion to set it up into the red zone. So what happens on this play? Well, again, the defensive line needs to be better. This is the one thing that I saw on this opening drive is the defensive line got dominated. Now, granted, the Saints did a lot of good things to double up on defensive tackles, to get the right protection for Carr, but this defense just has to respond better. And this defensive line and these defensive tackles need to play better. You look at the motion, you see the double right here, and they just push them right off the line. And now it's on the edge rush to be able to get to Carr, and it's just a great pocket for Carr, no pressure, and we saw too much of that, and it's an easy throw. And I'll also say this, I felt like the secondary wasn't covering as best as it could because they were relying on the pressure to always get there. And Trayvon Diggs is no exception to this. This was just poor coverage from Diggs. And unfortunately, here's the last play of the drive, and this is where it gets really ugly, and this is where the Saints pretty much just punch the Cowboys in the mouth. And there's just nothing that you can do about this. There's no scheme. There's no coaching. This is full-on just effort. This is just getting out-owned by the other team. And you could see right here, I want you to pay attention to the two tackles in the middle because they get completely drawn off their assignment and it completely destroys any kind of defensive attention that the Cowboys wanted to do. No pre-snap motion, just an easy run, and they get pushed off. I mean, look at Jordan Phillips. He's at the goal line. He gets pushed to the end zone. We need our defensive tackles to play better. Again, hats off to the Saints for doubling. And that's what takes Linval Joseph out of the play. And that's what allows 79 to get the next tier to take out Maurice. But then this next play, 51 is just driving Jordan Phillips out of the way. And Kamara, being the great running back he is, just fights for extra yards and gets the easy touchdown. So there you have it. There's the opening drive. And to me, when you see your team go up against that type of offense and they get punched in the mouth that way, it's going to be a long day, and it was a long day. Just no adjustments. Nothing could stop what the Saints were doing to the Cowboys. It's funny because it reminds me a couple years ago of what DeMarcus Lawrence said about, ironically, the Saints at the time, saying, we got to go out there and punch them in the mouth. Well, the Saints did exactly that, but this time it was to the Cowboys, and the Cowboys never recovered defensively. There's some things here that you can fix, but like I said in my post-game reaction video, there are things that have been put on tape now that shows the rest of the league, this is how you stop the Cowboys. This is how you beat the Cowboys. This is how you destroy the Cowboys. But thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Go Cowboys.